Real people, real celebrities, real talk.
Join the Breakfast Club.
Blast off in your ear.
Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning. We got a special guest in the building from Queens, Daymond from Fubu. I always call you Daymond from Fubu. Can we call you? Is it still Daymond from Fubu?
No, it's Daymond John.
Daymond John.
Either way, it's all good.
You've been getting money for a long time, sir.
I've been trying. I've been hustling for a long time for sure.
Absolutely.
They always say never trust a person with two first names. So
Is that what they say?
Yeah, you never heard that?
I never heard that one.
Well, he is a shark, so you got to be careful with it. Now let's start from the beginning. Fubu. Let's start how you got this line together, because I'm sure there's a lot of kids out there and a lot of people out there that want to start their own clothing line and just don't know how to. So how did you get your start?
Well, I think it was a different time. It was myself and my three other partners, Jay, and Keith, and we would stand out there in the corners and we would hustle. Mm-hmm. We'd basically go out there and sell the shirts to people, and it wasn't like a Twitter or any of that stuff was around. I sold you a shirt. I'm finding you the next day at your house, and I'm selling you another one. It was as simple as that. And then, for about 2 years, we would go and place T-shirts in all the rap videos, and we would just take them back after the artist award.
Oh, that's disgusting.
We didn't have no more money. You know what I mean? But so after the 2 years, besides those shirts smelling real ripe, what was happening was we were perceived as this huge clothing company after 2 years. Meanwhile, I was still a waiter in Red Lobster serving everybody cheese biscuits. Mm-hmm. And
so healthy.
Yeah.
Which Red Lobster? Queen and
I was in Baldwin. I was in
Baldwin.
First of all, the other one is in Valley Stream. We used to
Green
call it
Acres Mall.
Death Valley. Yeah. And then we was in the Baldwin one. And then people started to see the clothing out there, and they started to really take to it. And
then LL started promoting it.
LL started promoting it, and LL just took it to a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm. LL actually wore one of your shirts in a Gap ad. No, he said the rap in the Gap ad.
He said for us bias in there, and
yeah.
he was he is one of those artists that weren't just an artist who said, yeah, you know what, I'll rock with you. He wore it all day long. He made sure everybody wore it. He wore
Did
it
he
in
have a
any given
percentage?
Sunday. Yeah, L had definitely gotten taken care of, and we've been cranking ever since.
You guys recently had relaunched too.
Yeah, we relaunched a couple of years back, and now we do more for the class and the mass. We do Walmart. That's a great business. So we do we try to be the Levi's in Walmart, the urban hipster kid, and then you got Levi's who are the urban cowboys in there.
Do you own the majority of Fubu, or was it equally? Because it seems like everybody else is, on the side, but you were always the one that was like the head honcho.
Because I founded it, and my partners came along over the course of 6-7 years of creating it. So there was incremental growth for being a partner.
You're the RZA of Fubu.
Yeah, I was the one who initially started. Yeah.
You think it's room for a racially themed clothing line?
Racially themed. Why is it racially themed?
Well, Fubu was never racially themed. Actually, the first areas that we sold Fubu was Japan and Seattle, Washington, the skateboarders.
Oh, see, I thought it was for us by us.
The us was a culture. It was that culture who loved that high voiced, boxer. That they love Spike Lee. They love everything. Listen,
Dope.
I love the fact that Eminem used to wear it, and he wasn't he wasn't African American as well.
Gotcha.
But he's a hot rapper, and it was all about that.
I used to wear so much Fubu, man, especially platinum Fubu when the Fat Albert.
Platinum, right? If you're gonna wear it, you gotta go platinum.
I was all over the platinum Fubu with the Fat Albert. Sweaty jean suits.
It seemed like you had a tough time in New York, though. You guys were from New York, but it seemed like New York was against you guys at one time. It seemed like it was selling everywhere else.
It's true, but New Yorkers are just really, really difficult cats to impress. I mean, that's the top 1% of the market, but initially when it hit the streets, it was New York. New York was
really
the first one on it. It was, tell you the truth, it was somebody that I don't think get enough credit. It was Ralph McDaniels that really just put us on the map, and people loved Ralph and they supported him.
Uncle Ralph.
For sure.
Well, I really enjoy watching you on Shark Tank so much.
Thanks.
And actually, the three of us in here each came up with an idea.
Now, Shark Tank's my ish, so I watch it every
So
Friday.
listen, we want to see if you had to pick one of the three of us to invest in.
All right.
Out of the three of us, who came up with the best idea?
Okay.
All right, so Charlamagne, do your pitch.
I
didn't think this out that way.
I have a place called Jiffy Pube, and it's going to be a pubic hair barbershop. And it's going to be these pretty women. And I mean handsome guys if you want that. And you come there, get your underarm shaved, your back hair, your pubic hair trimmed, anything that you got that has to do with grooming, like manscaping.
And who's gonna work there?
Jiffy Pube. The pretty women and handsome guys, whatever you want. If you're a guy that wants your pubes done by a guy, you get it done by a guy. If you're a girl that wants it done by a guy, get it done by a guy.
Isn't that what kind of the Brazilian wax thing is already for the chicks?
But there's no place for guys.
For guys?
Guys don't go. We got to clip it ourselves over the toilet with scissors. It looks stupid and messy.
Now, would he be able to use Jiffy Pube, that name?
He could actually use Jiffy Pube, I'm sure. I mean,
We don't want to be confused with Jiffy Lube.
Well, if he can't open anything that services
That's a whole
cars
nother
with
type of
Jiffy
store.
Pube, but he definitely can do that.
Get your pubic hair service.
Yeah, you can get a full pube.
Now,
What's
this is
yours,
mine. This is
Envy?
mine. Mine is
Another
called
one.
Extender. All right.
Is this about your penis?
No,
again?
it's not about my penis.
I meant, oh no.
Oh,
Okay.
now think about this. Now, take yourself outside of New York. If you go to a lot of different places, they still have coin meters,
Right.
Where you got to put a quarter in, and you put a quarter in every 15 minutes.
Right.
You put this device on a meter, and it drops a quarter every 15 minutes, so you don't ever have to come back out and do that, and it'll fill it up for, let's say, for six to 8 hours.
But what about the grimy cats to go out there and just take them off all the meters?
But you lock it around the meter, and you have a padlock on it, so
Okay.
it's basically stuck until you want to take it off.
How about the fact that they don't have meters anymore and it's the Muni thing?
Now,
that
only
you
in
have
New
to-
York they don't have meters. They have meters everywhere around the world. So in
They probably
Japan they
gonna
have
change
meters. They have meters everywhere.
all right. So what's the next one?
Okay, so here's my idea.
Oh boy.
Now, as a female, we love shoes, and some of them are very expensive. And you know how you wear a pair of shoes one time and the bottom gets worn out and scuffed and everything, and then it looks bad when you sit down and you put your foot up?
Yeah. Huh?
Well, I was thinking of some type of gel coating that you could put on the bottom of your shoes so that it could protect that so your shoes always look new.
That's whack. They have that already.
No, they don't.
Do they have that already?
Is that patent pending? They have that already.
No.
Yes,
you
they
actually
do.
have to go to a shoemaker and get your shoes redone.
Yeah, exactly.
But
They
I
have
want you
that
to be
on
able
there.
to do it yourself
No.
at home.
Well,
so you don't
they
have to
don't
do
have
that.
that already. I would be in on that one. That would be number
Thank
one.
you.
And yours would be number two with the meters.
You're missing out, dog. You're missing out. You don't see my
You know,
vision.
the pube one, it ain't really about the people working. It's about the people who are going to come in
The
there with the
customers.
You don't
real
see my vision.
with the real bushy people that
See,
are going to come
these
in.
corporations, they don't understand my creative. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what about the perverts that might come in there to have a pretty woman touch their privates?
As long as they pay the
Well,
money.
that would be
yes.
me. Well, that would be me coming in. I'm talking about the others.
Seems like a lot of lawsuits over there, Charlamagne.
You don't
There's
see
a lot
my
of happy
vision.
endings happening.
You don't see my vision.
Now explain to us, Shark
Me
Tank.
and
How did
Kanye
that
West
come
over here
together?
by ourselves.
Shark Tank. Well, you know what? I was on a lot of the networks like CNBC and MSNBC and Donnie Deutsch, and Mark Burnett and the team over at Sony and ABC. They saw that I knew how to analyze a pitch, break it down, and they said, "Why don't you come on? Because I think you got some money in your pockets, and maybe you want to spend $1 million, $2 million a year on investing in companies." So, of course, I said, "I'm out immediately," and hung up the phone. Right, and then I realized that we already had about 10 clothing companies up there, and 5 of them were dead, and all I was getting pitched was clothing companies. If I go into the show, I'll get pitched a whole bunch of other stuff, beautiful things like Jiffy Pube. You know what I mean? So I decided to do the show, and I didn't think it was gonna last. I didn't think it was gonna be more than one season, and 5 seasons in, it's really doing amazing. And it's changing lives.
So why they flip flop you now? I mean, we don't see you every week like we used to. They put the old lady in now for you, man.
They put Barb in. Well, because first of all the Sharks have crazy schedules, right? It's hard getting us all together. And then also women started to want to see 2 women on the panel because they felt that wasn't representing American business.
So they take the black guy out?
Yeah, but the black guy goes back in. So I've been there 5 years, and they're really good to me. So I have a good time. And sometimes, you know what? I'm happy that I'm not on the panel. Sometimes when I see some of the crap that Barbara and and Lori invest in. So I'm home dying laughing at them.
What was the best investment you made from that show?
Well, the quickest flip was something. It was called Talbot Teas, where it was these guys who created a gourmet tea line, and then we sold it in 6 months. We sold it to Jamba Juice. So that one
Love
was the
Jamba
quickest
Juice.
flip. But then other ones will be. There's one called Al. The name Al, and he has something called Easy VIP, and it's kind of like a club concierge.
I see that out in Miami, right?
Yeah, and we want to make that though for the whole entire country, kind of like the Orbits, where you want to go to Ibiza and you book everything, and then we got Pitbull to be the face of that. So that I felt that has the same stamina as the LL Fubu connection. And then you have other ones that they're doing $500,000, but they get on the show and they do $1 million, and it just slowly grows over
What was
the
the
next 5,
worst
10
one?
years.
The
knew
worst
you were gonna
investment.
ask
You
that.
like,
The worst
damn, I
one?
shouldn't have did that.
Well, the worst one. Well, there's several bad ones.
Several worse ones.
But the worst one was a girl named Gayla Bentley that made clothes for plus size women. I think that Gayla's an amazing designer. Barbara and I invested the money in there, and we didn't see Gayla since.
Damn.
So,
What?
Yeah.
So
Well,
she
you know
could've
what?
been
You know
the
what
next
happens.
Lane Bryant.
People always complain about how mean the Sharks are on the show, but think about that. Somebody's asking you for $500,000 of your own dollars. They're not going to tell you that they're going to disappear. They're not going to tell you they're buying a Mercedes Benz. They're not going to tell you that type of stuff. They're not going to tell you they have tax liens or their wife really owns the company. So you have to really dig deep and find out what they're going to do with your money.
So there's no way you can research all of those things. You just have to.
Well, no, we research. We do the deal right on the air, and then it takes somewhere from 2 months to 6 months to close up the deal, going through everything. But when somebody's telling you a lie, they got their A game on.
That's crazy.
Right?
You got scammed on the show.
Well, I mean, it's just what happens, But
Wow.
at the end
It
of
happens
the
in
day,
real life.
At the end of the day, all you need is 1 or 2 hits. Listen, I'm still spending money from FUBU jerseys in '98, right? So all you
Nice.
need is 1 hit. You know what I mean?
Well, it always seems like you invest in businesses the least on the show.
No, not really. I have 38 investments on the show. Mark Cuban has 42. The rest are under 35.
Wow, it doesn't seem like that. It always seems like you invest the least.
Well, you know why? Because I'm the quickest to say I'm out, and that's all you remember is when
that's true.
I don't like something, I'm just like, yo.
Yo, he be out in the middle like,
I'm out.
you know what? I don't like
I'm
the
not
Jerry
gonna-
curl. I'm out,
wait,
man.
I'm not gonna waste your time.
Right.
And my time, I don't like it. This smells. This is like a cloudy urine sample. I'm out.
I be feeling so bad for those people when they come on there.
I don't feel bad for them. Feel bad for me.
Well,
How much of it is just instinct, though, when it comes to business? Like, you see a good idea, how much of it is just straight gut?
A lot of it is instinct because at the end of the day, man, when you're going to make the real money, it's going to be those long, long bets. Like when we started FUBU, if I would have walked up to you with 10 shirts and said, yo, rappers is wearing this, you would have said, nah, get out of here, right? It's a long, long bet. And we really invest in people. We don't invest in the companies. It's about somebody being able to sell us something. And you can have the greatest idea in the world, but if you can't pitch it and we can't feel that energy from you and we feel like you're going to be the one that we're going to want to work with, it's about people. So.
Now let's talk about Shopify.
Right.
So this is something that you came up with?
No,
Yes?
Shopify
Okay.
is an online e-commerce platform. So we're doing a contest, and we did it last year as well, where if you create your online store through Shopify, you can win. It's a couple of, it's like maybe 50, 60, 75,000. Plus you get to meet with one of the mentors. So it's myself, it's Mark Cuban, it's Salida E. Banks, it's Little John, it's Tim Ferriss, it's Aaron Huffington. So and if you sell a certain amount of goods within a year, on your line, your own site, you get to meet with us. You fly out into New York, you win some cash, and it's
So
good.
you can sell anything you want on your own store.
Anything.
Online.
If you selling books, you selling phone accessories, eyewear. You could sell motivational tapes. You could sell your DVDs, CDs. Doesn't matter what it is.
That's a great idea because a lot of people don't know how to set up an online store. They'll be like, oh, I should sell this online, but they don't know how to go about it. So it's just a...
Yeah, and that's why I love Shopify because you know what? We, all our brands, Coogee, and when we had Married to the Mob and all the brands up there, the biggest pain in the butt was creating the online store. But something like Shopify, you go on there, you build it, and you look like Macy's up there,
Mm-hmm.
Wow, can we go back to Shark Tank for a second?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people think Mr. Wonderful is probably the worst business guy up there as far as deals. See,
Right.
but I think it's you. So you the guy that you'll be like, I'll give you $1 million for 99.9% of your company. Give you one. Like you are the probably the slickest and the dirtiest shark up there.
Dirty.
I think
Yeah, he
so.
goes hard.
I go hard. You know why? Because a lot of people come up there with ideas and they expect us to work. So if I'm going to give you money and then I got to wake up an extra hour every day, how much are you going to pay me to do that? Now, if I'm going to give you money, no problem. Listen, I put money into Tesla. They don't call me. They don't even give me a discount on the car.
Was that a good
Wake
investment or
up.
bad investment? Because it went up and now it's kind of steady.
No, it was good. It was
I
good.
see that in Short Hills Mall. They have a store.
Yeah, Short His Malls or whatever the case is. So if I'm going to invest money in a bank or in a stock, they don't call me, no nothing. I open my mailbox, there's money there. But those cats who say, give me $500,000 and then I need all your contacts and I need you to do this and you to do that, the money's going to cost more. So the more work I got to do, the more the money's going to cost. The less work I got to do, no problem.
Yeah, I went the other way. I went to Fisker and I lost my money in Fisker, man.
I like what you
bad.
said. You said the biggest myth of business is you need to be mean and cutthroat to get ahead.
And you don't. I was
I think the 48 laws of power instilled that in a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. I was fortunate enough to come up, and I lived in Hollis, Queens, and I learned from Russell and a lot of the cats who just said, man, just give back. Now you give back, you will get. And you don't have to be nasty about it. I think that was the day and age of growing up watching Dallas and all those kind of things. But I just don't think it's necessary.
Now, also, you gave you once you offered a guy $1 million on the show,
Yeah,
and then he talked his way out of it. Now, what happened with that?
that guy, it was called Plate Topper. Now, if you know the show, you see the 8 minutes, but that pitch was the longest pitch in history. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes.
That
The
whole
guy
pitch,
was
wow.
standing there, right? And it shows that common sense ain't that common because the guy was a doctor, and he sat there and he overvalued his company, and he was basically trying to play the bait and switch game. I went all the way up to $1 million on the guy. He ended up selling for $90,000, I think. For a portion of the company with Lori. If you ever notice, he's rubbing his legs towards the end. It's because he's been standing there 2 hours and 45 minutes with all 5 of us sharks just yelling at him and screaming at him. And also, if you ever notice, there's a chewed up apple on the end of my desk right at the end because during the middle of the pitch, I got up and left because I was so frustrated.
Wow.
And I came back.
Now, another question. Now, when you go on a Shark Tank, do you have to give the I guess, the network a percentage? Because you can go on a Shark Tank and say, you know what, no, but now millions of people know my business.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, initially, I think a couple of years back, they took a couple of percentage to try to vet the people who were just going on there for bad, for great publicity, truthfully.
Right.
And now, no, there's no percentage. You go on there, and we see a couple of people who they're on there just to get the exposure. But we look at 150 people. We only see 75, so you start to basically smell, and you see they're not trying to close the deal quick enough, and you get it. And it's not really beneficial for them to not close a deal with a shark, because if you close a deal with me, you're going on Good Morning America, right? You're going on The View. You're going on all these. I'm pushing you out there because it's better for all of us. Your product is getting out there. You're making more sales, and hopefully we're doing a good business.
Now, has anybody ever been on a show that you guys all turned down, and then they went ahead and put out their product and it did fantastic?
Oh, many.
Charlemagne, Jiffy Pugh.
Many. There was this young guy. He had a company called Shrimp. It was these shrimp burgers, and the guy went off and sold $10 million worth right after. Now you got to understand. A lot of times the Sharks don't go into a deal because we just don't know anything about the business. We can't add value. So you look at something like when we had FUBU Records, right? We had Fatty Girl, Lights, Camera, Action on it. Everybody came to us. We had Ashanti came to us. Eminem was sitting up there in the lobby, get signed. If Eminem would have got signed to us as FUBU Records, he'd have been nowhere.
Right.
Right?
Well, you don't know that.
I know that for sure. Trust me on this one. So you look at something like some of the deals. I've lost a deal to Lori. Lori, I lost a deal with this little eyeglass. It's this little pin you put in your shirt to hold your eyeglasses in. Let me tell you something. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. But Lori went and did $4 million of that in business.
Now,
So
radio
maybe I'm the idiot.
One of the best inventions I've seen was the little hooks they put in the bars now so you can hang your purse.
Yeah,
that's
that's a good one. But you know who did the best? Lori did the best in these little faces, these little sponges that look like a face. She did $15 million in 3 months.
Wow.
Sponge that look like a face.
Yeah, it's like a little round face, and it looks like it's called a sponge daddy.
That would be dope, especially if you get faces of your enemies and then wash your ass with it.
Oh my goodness.
That would be dope.
Now, radio personality came up one day and tried to have you guys invest so he could get his show syndicated.
Yeah, that was a guy with Brian McKnight. He was up there.
That didn't work so well.
Didn't work for us because I don't know the business.
Right.
I really don't know the business, but I think that he went off and he did get a deal afterwards.
Brian
So-
McKnight?
Well, he does an R&B show, an R&B syndicated show with Brian McKnight. So they came up there to try to get some money to pay to get syndication, and they all turned him down.
Yeah, it wasn't Brian looking for the money. It was just the guy. Brian was one of his featured artists because Brian said he often got played by the guy.
Gotcha.
And the guy went off and did a great. He did a nice deal, and Shark Tank highlights those people also. That sometimes they go, you know what, the Sharks didn't know any better.
The Breakfast Club needs to go on Shark Tank then.
Wow, we're already syndicated.
Oh.
What's wrong with you?
You could do Jiffy Poop, Puke.
Poob.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, anything else you working on,
I
Daymond?
watch this guy over here.
No, everything else is great, man. I'm just out there, pushing the Shark Tank products and making sure, and obviously the Shopify Build a Business contest, and just having a great time.
All right, don't steal my idea, okay?
Huh?
Don't steal my idea.
I might.
Is FUBU coming back? And somebody did send me an email and said
Oh,
they
he
wanted to
just
send me
told
some
you it's
retro
back.
FUBU. No. They said they wanted to send me some retro FUBU.
Well, FUBU, you know what? A lot of the kids are starting to wear FUBU, the old styles. They're starting to pick it up, and they just, they're just adopting and flipping it their way.
You should wear it backwards with some jeans backwards.
FUBU's a brand that, it may come back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It does well in Asia right now. It's doing okay in South Africa. But, when you have a brand name, it revisits and it comes back.
I think Platinum FUBU could still pop just because they're Fat
listen,
Albert.
it might. Yeah.
Y'all had to pay a lot of money to license that?
Yeah, we licensed Fat Albert, then we licensed Muhammad Ali, and then we did.
I had that one too.
Harlem Globetrotters.
I did. I had a Muhammad Ali
He got
jeans
mad
suit.
excited.
I did. It was orange.
With the new brand we just
Orange
bought,
jeans.
It was blue, but it had orange trim. and
orange,
stuff.
yeah.
But we replaced the FUBU in the United States with Coogee for a little while, and then the brand we just bought was Etonic, the running shoe. It was really big in the '70s, so we're gonna try to blow that up now.
How did Coogee do?
Coogee did really well. Coogee did well. Because we took it from the big nasty sweaters to big nasty sweaters and nasty jeans. You know what I mean? So
sweatsuit.
And the sweatsuits and everything else.
People
So
still
do
wear
what-
Coogee.
And people like Jada did great campaigns for us, and Soldier Boy and all those. So we
Kind
always
of
get
looks
a
like
lot of
Miss
love from the
Sony a
family.
little.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you joining us today. And we can check you on Shark Tank. When does it come on? I know Fridays at
Shark Tank Fridays at 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Okay. It's the
I'm always
Breakfast
home
Club.
on Friday night now.
It's the Breakfast Club. It's
Well, I'm a
Daymond
fan of
John.
the Breakfast Club. You know it.